Okay, so today we have the one last formula we haven't done, which is the sum of an arithmetic sequence. So here it is. Okay, I'm going to tell you when you use this formula, almost every time you use it, you're going to need to figure out one of those first before you use it. So using this formula is difficult because sometimes it's missing something. Okay, you ready? Okay, so here we go. The sum of the sequence. Okay, so the sum that I'm looking for is the first term. So what can I put in that position? A 2 plus the term in the last position. So that's 100 divided by 2 times the number of positions I go to. Okay, that's the thing I don't know. I don't know. So I know 100 is where I stopped, but what position is that in? I don't know. So now what do? I figure out the position number. So here we go. We have to use this formula. So I'm going to go to this side. N equals. So everybody's got their formula sheet out. N equals term n. So what is the term in that position? 100. Subtract term 1. So subtract 2. Divided by the difference. So what is that? We got to go back. What's the pattern movement? What's the adder? 2 plus 1. Okay, so how many numbers are in this pattern? What's the position that we went up to? Did you get 50? So there's 50 terms, and it kind of makes sense. 2, 4, 6, 8, all the evens from 2 to 100, there's 50 of them. Okay, so now we can figure out the sum of, well, you can technically put a 50 there now, the sum of the 50 terms. So if I was to go 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10 plus keep going, what does that all add up to? So now you can type that in. Please use brackets, they're your friends. Okay, next one. Find the sum of the first 41 terms. So find the sum of the first 41 terms. So I'm going to use this bottom formula. So the first term, I can put a 4 there, plus the last term in the pattern, which would be in the 41st position. So I don't know that. Divided by 2 times the number of terms, the number of positions, which is 41 positions. Okay, but I don't know. So 14. So I'm doing this and doing this, and I don't know. That's what I'm trying to get first, because I don't know the 41st term. Okay, so can you get me on the side? So we're going to go over here. So I didn't know that. So term 41 equals. So you're going to do that. So now I'm grabbing this formula. First term, 4 plus n. N is your position number. 41 subtract 1 times the d. So what's the pattern? So you got to go back 4 to 9. 9 to 14, what's the pattern doing? up by 5. Okay, so what term would be at the end of this pattern? Did you get 204? Okay, does that make sense? If you kept going up by 5s, up by 5s, so 204. So now I'm going to go back to my sum formula and I can put that in now. Okay, so now if we were to add 4 plus 9 plus 14 plus whatever, all of it, what does it add up to? Use your brackets. Please make sure you're typing because the typing part is sometimes the tricky part of this unit. Making sure it's going in with order, brackets. Okay, last one and then you're on your own. Okay, I want to figure out the sum. So here's my formula. Sum equals the first term, so that's the 8, plus term n is the last term. So the last term is 341. Average it times the n, which is how many positions are in this, which is the thing I don't know. So like I said, you either don't know, this or that. Sometimes you don't know the last term, sometimes you don't know how many terms. Okay, so I don't know how many terms, so what position is that in? Okay, so n equals, so here we go, there's a formula to tell me. The term n, which is the last term, so the term in that position is 341. Subtract the first term, so 8, divided by, what's the pattern difference? What's the movement? 3, positive 3. Okay, so I need you to calculate how many terms. And let me know if we match or if we don't match. Okay, then once I'm done that, I take the 112 and I put that into the n part of the original formula. Okay, and the number's big because it's me adding 8 plus 11 plus 14 plus. You're adding all these numbers together, and that's what you do. Okay, so just remember to keep this clear in a pattern. In a pattern, this is the Tn and this is the number n. Does that make sense? This is what the term is in that position, and this is the number of the position that you're in. Okay? Now, here's what I often get on tests. What if somebody's using this formula and they tell me the answer is negative? Does that make sense? Can you have negative terms in your sequence? No. So, if you get a negative answer in there, are you going to just go ahead and figure out, or are you going to stop and say something went wrong? Stop, redo, something went wrong. What if you get an answer of 52.5 terms? You can't have a half term. So if you have a decimal on this, something went wrong. Go back, figure out what you did. Okay? I get that on a test, and I keep telling people that's a red flag. understand that you can't have fractional terms, you can't have part terms, and you can't have negative terms. So whatever you get there should look like a nice positive number, right?